Hey guys, welcome back to this edition of Virtual Gigliotti. I wanted to take a few minutes to talk about the week of April 20th and 1945. Just some quick announcements before we get started. Number one, I hope everybody out there is staying safe, staying healthy. Hopefully this will be over soon and we'll get to see each other again in person. In the meantime, while we do our distance learning, I want to make sure that everyone knows what's going on, and if you need any help, by all means, feel free to email me, reach out to me, and I'll be happy to help you out. A couple of quick things. Obviously, so far we've had the 1942, 1943 assignments and the 1944 assignments. So there's 4 of them so far that will be going into HAC. So please make sure you've gotten those taken care of. If you haven't, get them submitted. I'm going to do my best to keep grading from time to time to keep everything updated. Because of the whole pass-fail thing that they've set up, it kind of really makes it important that you get those assignments in. Because if you think about it, let's say there's 4 assignments so far and you've only done 2 of them, the computer is going to calculate that as a 50%, which is failing, which kind of stinks, but that's just sort of the way it is without having tests and the reviews and the presentations and some of the other things that we'd normally be able to do in class live together. So please keep up with it. I know it's a new experience for a lot of us. I know my 2 kids have had the same trouble trying to plan their day out, but a schedule works out great. I know the guidance department sent out a schedule, but try to devote a little bit of time each day to getting the assignments done. And I'll go over the assignments for 1945 here in just a moment. But I just want to encourage you, if you need anything, fire off an email, let me know, and I can help support you in any way possible. And again, I hope everybody's staying safe and healthy, and hopefully we'll be back together again soon. So, without further ado, then let's take a look at the website and what we're going to be doing for 1945, which really shouldn't be too much of a surprise to you. I tried to keep everything very consistent so that it makes it a little less confusing for you. You already know that everything is going to be on our website this week at mrgigliotti.com. So I'm just going to go ahead, I'm going to scroll down. There's our World War II banner, there's my grandfather, there are all the class notes, and then right here in this area, I added the big menu block for each week, the week of April 20th to the 27th. I also have the past assignments here as well, so here's the 13th, there's the 2 1944 assignments, and then the 1942-43 assignments there as well. So if you're still behind, get those out. I set all these assignments up exactly the same format, just obviously different content. That way, once you get used to the process, it should be pretty easy. So again, hopefully you're watching this video, what we're doing in class this week. And just like the past 2 weeks, we have 2 assignments. We have 1 assignment like we would have typically done in class. This week it's going to be for 1945. And then the other assignment is going over the class notes and summarizing them, utilizing some of the other resources that I've put in here for you. So all those things can obviously help you. Like we've done in the past, to get started, all we're going to do is, click on the tile to open up the file. So I want to go ahead and get started with 1945. I can't wait to see how World War II ends. So I go ahead and click on the tile. It's going to download the file for me. Obviously, in your Google Doc, you're going to do the save as Google Doc like we've done all year long. And when you open it, the assignment is in the exact same format we've been working on with all of the other World War II assignments. So you know the drill by now. We start off with our learning targets there, obviously, and then we go into the true and false. You might know a little bit about 1945 from your U.S. class. You go through and you're going to decide, do you think these statements are true or do you think these statements are false? And then I went ahead and embedded the reading right into the next slide. That way you can read over this information and then go back and make sure that you rewrite all of those statements in a true fashion. Remember, you want to rewrite the statements so when you submit these to me, I see that the statement is true. Please don't just submit true, false, true, false. That's kind of not the point of this. The whole point of this is so that at the end you have all of these statements as a nice overview of 1945, and all those statements are true. So all 3 of those statements, for example, can be found here in this part of the reading. Then we go on to 4, 5, and 6, and there's the reading to answer those. So please take the time. It's a very short reading, and it can help you learn this stuff a lot faster, I believe. Then, of course, we have the viewing history, where we're looking at some of those pictures, examining them, checking them out, and then answering those writing prompts as well. That's there. So we have a few of those dealing with the war in the Pacific, the Battle of Berlin, and then the dropping of the atomic bomb, which ultimately ends 1945. So those should be really easy. Just check out the pictures, type out a little response. No big deal. Then, of course, the read, write, discuss. And we've done these before. Like I said, I tried to make all of these exactly the same to help you out. So here's some information, for example, about the Battle of Okinawa, one of the bloodiest battles in human history. So we're going to read through the information. It's all right here in the file, so you don't have to go anywhere else. The cool thing, too, with all this is once you've downloaded the assignment, it's all right there for you. You don't have to go out anywhere else or be confused by multiple links. I was working with my daughter on some stuff, and her teacher had tried her best, and there were so many links, it was kind of confusing. So I thought I'd just put it all in there for you. So anyway, I read it over, highlight the important stuff, and then there's the questions that go along with it. It goes through Okinawa, and then it will get into some of the other stuff. This is a primary source. This is an eyewitness account from a young lady who was in Berlin when the Soviets invaded, and she describes what the Battle of Berlin was like and what it was like for civilians in Berlin. Kind of an interesting perspective. So again, read it over, highlight, and then go ahead and answer the questions. And then the last read, write, discuss is all about the atomic bomb that ends the war. Same format. You're highlighting and so forth, answering the questions. Lastly, there are, I believe, 2 or 3 maps here for the geography. You can kind of see the war in Europe here, how the American and British forces are advancing from the west, how the Soviets are advancing and surrounding Berlin from the east, and some questions that go with it as well. There's also a map of the Pacific battles that are being fought. Okay, so again, you want to budget your time. Don't procrastinate. Maybe you work, a few minutes on the true and false, and then take a little break. Take a walk outside if the weather's nice. It's snowing today when I'm recording this. That's crazy, right? But anyway, as long as you can budget your time, get it done, that would be awesome. And then, of course, as you all know, once you are done with your file, to get your grade, go ahead to the website, press the Submit Assignment button, and it will take you to the Google form, and you're simply going to take your work from your file and paste it into those blocks. So, for example, it says, all right, what about the true and false statements? So I go back into my file, and that's my other file, but I take those and I just paste them right in there. Okay, so if you've done the assignment, this becomes really, really easy. I think there's a few review questions at the end. Don't forget to smash the submit button. Just like we've been doing in class all year. Nothing new, nothing different. That's there. Okay. Then, of course, the second part of the assignment, just like we've done the past 2 weeks, are the notes. So normally I go over all the notes, but we're not in class to do that. So what I'll need you to do is check them out for yourself. So number 1, you can download the 1945 notes just by clicking on the tile. Remember, if you click on the tile, it opens up the file, and your 1945 notes are in there, just like we've seen from the others. What I did was I included some writing prompts. So like we did in the previous years, here we go. There's 3 writing prompts. You need to choose 2 of them. So you can either summarize how the war ended in Europe and write about that, and the PowerPoint then goes through all the different steps, or you could summarize how the war ends in the Pacific. Or my personal favorite, I want you to imagine that you are President Truman and you're facing the invasion of Japan, or you're facing the decision to drop the atomic bomb. What are you going to do and why? So you pick 2 of those questions, write up a little paragraph, 5 to 7 sentences or so. All the information you need is right here in the file. So if you choose the end of the European War, you can start here and gonna go through. I made the PowerPoint very, very detailed, not just simple bullet points. There's a lot of information, a lot of pictures to help you out with that. The other thing, if you can't get enough of this video or the other videos I recorded, Okay, so this is this is the video that goes over part one, all the true and false. So if you're having problems with that, maybe you don't understand the reading, watch this video. A few minutes, we will go over all the information. Same with these two videos here. So this is the end of the war in Europe. So if I choose that writing prompt, watch the video, I will go through the notes with you, which is pretty awesome, just like we would do in class, only obviously now we're doing it virtually. And then this video is all about the victory in the Pacific. So if you choose that writing prompt, I will go over those notes with you. So my advice is probably I would choose my writing prompt, watch the corresponding video, take down my own notes as I'm watching it, and that will help me write up my little summary. They don't have to be some huge thing, just enough to know that you were able to understand it, just like we would go over in class and ask questions and things like that. This is sort of taking the place of that. Last thing, just for enrichment activities, these two videos are excellent. The World War II in Color series. The first one goes over 1945 in Europe. The second, 1945 in the Pacific. They're both fabulous. They go into an enormous amount of detail, even more detail than what I've done here for you guys as well. So these are optional, but definitely check them out if you have time. And I know everybody's super busy with all the coursework and everything else, but I also know that everybody's pretty much locked down. So if you're bored, if you really want to learn more about World War II, check it out, share it with your friends and family. It's pretty good. Okay, again, if you need anything, by all means, fire off an email and I'll be happy to help you. All right, guys, stay safe.